Oh,
And me and Lacey actually co-founded Elevated Oats together, and now we're working on about 6 years ago that was. And after we stopped doing Elevated Oats, I had worked for the Alaska MEP, which had shut down this last month. Actually, it's been about 30 days now. And so working with different manufacturers across the state while Lacey was doing
Only 10 people to participate.
marketing
That's
and branding work for another company out of
Middle of the day
Washington.
on a work day.
So we're gonna
oh,
get,
I
Dr.
got,
Peach was there too.
I
can you
got
do
it.
that?
Mm.
Thanks. Perfect. And so we saw a lot of the problems that were happening across Alaska when it came to manufacturers. And one thing that we're big on is community. So let's be honest. Too many decisions are being made about manufacturing in Alaska that are made by people who have never set foot inside of a shop, inside of a cannery, or on a fab floor. And meanwhile, all of you guys are creating jobs, building resilience, and doing it in one of the hardest places to operate. But manufacturers are still getting treated like an afterthought. And that's why we started Alaska Manufacturing Association. So we've partnered with a team called Vessel to build a platform that's going to be made for Alaska's manufacturing economy. And that's going to be coming out later this year. Right now, we're in phase one. We're working on building the foundation through the AKMA directory. So becoming a member is the first step to being matched, supported, and seen. And from there, we'll expand to hosting regular roundtables like this one, matching shared equipment, co-packers, and cold storage, advocating for freight solutions, tax incentives, and production support, and building a Slack-based member community so no one is building alone. This roundtable is part of that foundation, and your voice helps us shape what comes next.
Hey, before we go any further, I am going to launch a poll here. If you guys could fill it out, or I think it should pop up. I hope that works. If it doesn't, feel free to yell at me. Uh, awesome. This is really cool to see in real time. Okay. Five. Okay, about here we go. I think that's everyone. Okay, so almost everyone is a manufacturer. That's awesome. I'm going to share the results. Can you see that?
Got
Cool.
it.
All right. This roundtable is for Alaska's manufacturers and makers. If you're making, processing, or producing, this is your space to speak freely. If you're a supplier, a support organization, agency, or here to learn, we're glad that you're here. Thank you so much for coming. But today we ask that you listen in for the roundtable portion. We rarely get a dedicated space just for the makers, so we're protecting that space today. Okay, sorry, I'm getting rid of that poll. So let's do a quick round of introductions. If you could, please just share your name, the company or organization that you're with, and where you do business from. So I will go first. I'm Lacey Hernandez. I'm with Alaska Manufacturing Association. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer, and we're based out of Palmer. Let's go around the room, and when your turn is finished, just go ahead and call on someone else, or someone else can just chime in. That's cool. I'm going to start with Linda.
Hey guys, how's it going? Linda Janes. I am one of the managing directors at a company called Generator, and we support very early stage scalable startups in Alaska through a variety of programs. Nice to be here.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go Sam. Samantha.
Hey, I'm Sam. I'm with Alaska Food Company. I am a co-founder and president, and we're based out of Wasilla.
You. We'll go Hannah. Thanks, Linda. She's in Anchorage.
I'm Hannah Thompson, owner and operator of Mountain Dog Treats, and we are in Palmer.
Yay, glad to have you here.
Thanks.
Jackie Mueller. I think I said that right or probably wrong. I don't know.
You're actually one of the only people to have ever gotten it right, so props to you.
Okay.
I'm Jackie. I own Peace of Mind LLC, and I manufacture handmade all natural skincare products. I use local ingredients as much as I can.
Where are you out of?
Out of Wasilla.
Okay, thank you. We'll go with Jesse.
Hi, I'm Jesse Drover. I own Cardboard Cribbage in Anchorage, a local game company. And yeah.
Thank you. Glad to have you here. Petra.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Petra or Petra Illig, either one works. I'm with Alaska. I'm the founder and owner of Alaska Rhodiola Enterprises. Our business address and our new extraction facility is in Anchorage, but our manufacturing facility for our tincture product is in Anchor Point.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Reed?
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm Reed Harris. I'm the owner of Aleph Designs, based here in Juneau, Alaska. I make custom furniture out of locally sourced wood. I am also a lobbyist, Harris Advocacy, so I did put myself in as a support group today for purposes of this meeting because I'm kind of curious to hear what the actual manufacturers are doing in Alaska. And Megan, you and I have met before, and it's been really interesting to see how AKMA is growing and kind of hear what your main issues are. Thank you.
Thanks, Reed. Ruth?
Yeah, my name is Ruth Hurst and I live in Fairbanks. I am the owner and operator of a virtual assistant business, specializing in search engine optimization and helping people with administrative, creative, and technical tasks in their small businesses. I have a long history in HR, working in manufacturing before I started this business, so that's why I am joining.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Samson.
Hi, my name is Samson Shepard. I own and operate Arctic Manufacturing Services here in Anchorage, Alaska. Our main kind of products that we manufacture are outdoor recreation related. So we make an ice probe, Nordic ice skates, and litany of other kind of little gadgets like that. But then we do also offer manufacturing job services, so machine shop work primarily.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I don't know how to pronounce this one. Gitara. Okay, I'm going to move on and then I'm going to say anybody else who I haven't called, go ahead.
Joel, we had him join late.
Joel. Yeah, Joel, if you could tell us your name, your company, and where you're doing business from.
Yeah, sure. I am a designer. I design apparel and accessories, and I'm based out of Anchorage, Alaska. So I'm kind of tuning in and seeing if there is anybody locally that can offer, services and products for the things that I do. Just kind of figuring things out and seeing if I can work within Alaska rather than having to go outside, which is what I have to do for pretty much everything that I do.
Heard. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, if I haven't called your name, please let us know who you are or forever.
Hello, this is Jim and
Thank you.
Kelly from JKD Brands. We provide packaging, labeling, and graphic design services.
Okay, awesome. I am going to rename you. There you go.
So we just had our name changed. And we're going to be hosting an event on September the 18th for some networking, and more details are going to follow.
For sure. Yeah, that's going to be the Meat Forge Grow mixer that we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay, so that being said, I think we can move on. Megan.
Okay, can you launch that second poll? Lacey's going to launch another poll here. What is hurting your business most? Now, these are different topics that you can select from just so we can get a clear understanding of where you are at. I don't know if I can just get rid of that. I can. Okay. We've already had dozens of conversations with folks just like you guys. A lot of you are actually, we have had personal conversations with several times. And we keep hearing the same challenges. Shipping costs are destroying margins. There's no access to shared kitchens or production equipment. You're sourcing packaging and supplies from the lower 48 because maybe you don't know of a local option or you can't find them locally. You've worked with supporting organizations but felt misunderstood or underserved. And if any of these issues relates to you, you're not alone. These are statewide issues, but they're solvable if we can build them together. Lisa, do you have those results?
I do. Well,
Share
I
the
was
results.
kind of waiting just a little bit more to see.
Let them come in.
Yeah, we got about 4 more people if they want to participate. Can I wait just 1 more minute?
Yes.
Okay.
Approved.
Thank you. Someone might be like taking a call or something. We're all busy individuals.
Also, fun background about me and Lacey. I didn't mention this in the beginning, but we were in the military together. We were in the Army. We actually met in Iraq. She was already deployed. I was a late deployer. And we were air traffic controllers together. So we have certain things that we're used to saying to each other. We've worked a long time with our communication. I think we're going on 18 years of being friends and working together in professional spaces. So to build this it's really a treat.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to share them now. I think you should see them.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Okay, this is good for us to know, and I'm going to take a picture just in case. I think it saves it, but
I think it is too. But
these are good things for us to know so that we can go back and really figure out where we can focus our efforts. And that's something that we'll discuss as well as we go into more of that group discussion. Hold on, I pushed the wrong button. Okay, so here's what we're here to talk about. Real grounded stuff that affects your daily operations. And here's some things that we can think about when we're having that discussion. What gaps still exist in Alaska's supply chain and support system? How to keep production in state instead of sending those dollars down south, kind of like what Joel was mentioning. What's needed for shared equipment, bulk shipping, or contract manufacturing, and how we can do, us as AKMA, what other organizations haven't showed up for. So how we can support you, what we can simplify, how we can make things better. This is your conversation, so we want you to drive it. We're not just here to talk for the entire hour. If we have time, we'll break up into smaller groups. I think we have a pretty small group to all stay in one room and kind of hear from everybody and see what we all have to say. So if you connect directly, share resources, or troubleshoot together, this is the time that we can make that happen. Let's start from the top. Anybody have anything that they want to share on the gaps that exist for Alaska supply chain or in the support system? Maybe something that's been an issue for you that you want to get a little deeper into besides just that poll.
And if none of these, Samson, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't know how to get rid of the clap thing. But anyways, one of the things that I as a manufacturer struggle with is finishing services. So I make raw goods that are metal typically, and people often want those anodized or painted or powder coated or some sort of thing like that. And so there's not a whole lot of people providing that service in Alaska. And so I end up shipping stuff out, and I pay shipping out and I pay shipping back. For sometimes small objects that aren't expensive to ship, but oftentimes it's expensive to ship those. And so that finishing service I've noticed is not very readily available in Alaska.
Okay, finishing service. And if anybody wants to like add on to what he has to say or knows something that maybe he doesn't, feel free to add in. Jump in.
Hi, this is Petra. I can't find my icon to wave my hand,
Okay, no
so
worries.
I just jumped in. I don't have anything to add on that side. My biggest issue is we rely on farmers in Alaska to produce our raw material, which is a medicinal plant called Rhodiola rosea. And I've been struggling getting more farmers to be willing to try to grow this crop. It's a new crop. A lot of it has to do with lack of information. Much of it has to do with lack of direct support from agencies such as the UAF Extension Service. Unfortunately, the person who'd been our biggest mentor and supporter passed away a few months ago. So there's a gap there in the ag community. And so we can't grow any bigger. We have a wonderful product. We sell about $1 million worth of tincture a year, but we can't keep up with growth because of the lack of raw materials. And this has a lot to do with connecting with farmers.
Okay.
Have you tried, do you have any ways that you are connecting with farmers?
I have created a 1 hour documentary, cost me $30,000. I've shown it at various venues. It's just very time consuming to find a venue that isn't expensive, and inviting people, sending those invites out. And then, so we do have it online, and we charge $9.99 to see it. I'm trying to recover a little bit of my expenditure, but that's out there. I try to elbow myself into any ag meeting, farmers meeting, garden show that I possibly can. But a lot of it has to do with lack of support from agencies such as the Department of Natural Resources. They know about this. They know, for example, how much money this could put into the pockets of Alaskan farmers. But it's just me, out there like Johnny Appleseed trying to get people to grow rhodiola. And I have a hard time being visible enough.
Okay.
Petra, can this be grown hydroponically?
No. It's an subarctic plant. It has to have deep, cold winters and mild summers. This is not, and it takes 5 years to grow from seed to maturity. We do have one citizen scientist in Eagle River who's been starting these plants aeroponically. It does not like being soaked in water, but I can spend hours talking on that, and I don't want to be doing this. But we need ag support. I've done a series of USDA grants where I've done some basic ag research. But we need support from the university. We need support from from our state government. We need buy-in from farmers who would be willing to be supported, to be willing to grow this, because there's no handbook. It's not like you're a farmer in Iowa and you want to grow corn. You go to the extension agency and they tell you how to grow corn. So there's a lot of challenges, when it takes a plant 5 years without a lot of history yet. This year we're working on our 12th annual harvest. There's not a lot of history yet, so farmers don't have a lot of confidence of how much money they might make if they spend 5 years weeding a field. I'm convinced this could be a huge money-making industry, not just growing this, but I'm doing what has been expressed in this meeting, that initially, when I first started, I was acting as a broker to connect a farmer with a botanical company outside. And when I realized how much money those botanical companies were making off of taking our raw materials and creating a high value product, I decided never to do that again. So I've become their buyer. I buy every possible dried rhodiola root I can find. And then we make the tincture. And now we built an extraction facility in Anchorage. where we can create a dry powdered extract, which has other options too. I'm sorry, I don't mean to monopolize here, but we have other options too, because we will be in a position also to make other botanical extracts, not cannabis, please. This is something totally different. We could, for example, take people's blueberries and make a dry powdered extract in a capsule. We can do those sorts of things eventually. I put in $250,000 worth of extraction equipment and hired a chemist, and so we're perfecting this. So this is, to me, a very scary part right now because I've sunk in a lot of money. And now we're just hoping that eventually over the next few years, we'll be able to get, recovery of that R&D.
Interesting.
And skincare. Oh my God, this is a whole nother area where you can use rhodiola. So
very interesting.
Can I ask one more question? Sorry.
Yeah.
And you might have already answered that. My question was, do you use dried materials? And if so, what's the opportunity for shipping it from the outside? I get that like you want to get it locally, but in the interim, since it does take 5 years to mature, is it something that's feasible to be shipped from the outside? I'm not sure what place on earth, grows rhodiola.
it has to be Alaska. This is a subarctic plant. You can't grow it in Washington State. It's too warm. This has to be Alaska. And that's the beauty here. We could become the world leading cultivators of rhodiola. If you don't mind, just a couple of other moments here. It's the dried root. We have a processing facility in Anchor Point where the farmers can bring their harvested roots, where we wash them, slice them, dehydrate them, getting them ready for stable storage. And then we use that up for making our tincture and hopefully soon also our capsules. But this plant is a subarctic alpine plant, so it requires those harsh conditions. The other beauty here is that until recently, most of the world's supply of rhodiola root for the botanical industry has come from wild harvest, primarily in the mountains of Siberia and Central Asia, in the Himalayas and northern China. And in those areas where the plant naturally grows in these really, really harsh conditions, these plants can be many decades old when they're harvested. And it's a destructive harvest because you kill the plant by uprooting it. And so in 2023, at the end of 2023, it went on an international endangered species list, which means that countries outside of Russia and outside of China can no longer get wild harvested rhodiola, which means cultivated rhodiola. And we have an opportunity here to become a world leader in producing cultivated rhodiola. In April, I was in Poland visiting a rhodiola grower there. They're growing it in northern Germany, Scandinavia, but we could really put rhodiola on the Alaskan agricultural map if we had more farmers willing to try this.
I have one more random question about this because it's very fascinating.
Thank you.
Your 5-year growth harvest, is it one harvest and then you're like planting another acre and then that takes 5 years as well?
So a lot of people will do sequential harvests. Let's say you have 5 acres. You plant 1 acre 1 year, the next acre the next year, and by the 5th year, you harvest your first one.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so that's generally how people set that up.
Hmm.
Please call me offline. I could talk for hours.
For sure. Sure. I got a million questions too. So we'll probably just have to do a little interview with you.
Absolutely. I'd love that.
Okay. Anybody else?
So I've noticed in my industry and skincare specifically, packaging is really hard. So like jars, like I focus heavily on ethically sourced, sustainably made products. So I don't use any plastic in my products. And the only like place that I'm able to get like jars and bottles and anything that I need is through Amazon, which is awful because it's not in bulk. And like most of the bulk suppliers that I have found in the lower 48 just don't ship here, which I find quite interesting because instead of like there being just a crazy shipping cost, they just don't ship here in general. So that's been one thing that's been difficult for me to be able to kind of grow and scale is I'm not able to get like a good amount of packaging. And so then I fall short in not having packaging or not having enough funds to put back into packaging since it's just small quantities. Um, as well as I focus heavily on locally sourced beeswax. And so trying to find beekeepers that have beeswax has been kind of difficult. I've been able to find a couple here in the valley, especially in the summertime, that'll post like on Marketplace and stuff like that. But I use it for, my lotions, my balms, my salves, everything that I am making that requires beeswax. I do my best to source locally. So that has been one struggle that's been a bit difficult ingredients wise.
Jackie, have you tried shipping with Alaska Marine Lines at all? I know you're up in the valley, so you'd have to take a trip down to the port of Anchorage, but I used to deal with the same thing with my business where I could actually get manufacturers to drop ship to the Seattle port for Alaska Marine Lines, then have it shipped up to Alaska, which you do pay for, of course, but depending on the number of items and the size and weight, it sometimes became economical to actually just have it shipped to AML and then have it shipped up to Alaska via AML as opposed to having it shipped directly to my door.
I had not heard of that before, so I will definitely be looking into it because that would be very convenient.
There's also,
Jackie, pardon me.
Go ahead.
This is Jim with JKD Brands. Is okay if I speak?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jackie, we at JKD Brands do specialize in packaging and especially eco-friendly packaging that's sustainable and biodegradable, compostable. So we'd be thrilled if you could get in touch with us. Is it okay for me to give a phone number and email address?
Absolutely.
Are you able to add that into the chat?
Perfect.
Jim?
Yeah.
Because that was,
I think we can do that. Let me give it a whirl.
yeah. And then
I can pull it off your website if you want me to.
Okay, well, again, we're with JKD Brands,
Got you.
and I'll try to put that on the chat as well.
yeah, and JKD is local, so you can actually go to their place and talk to them about like what you want, sizes, things like that. So you can get that firsthand instead of just going online and being like, oh, I think this is the right size for the product that I want.
Well, that's so helpful because that's my biggest thing is I'm always like, oh no, now it's too small or it's too big or it doesn't work. Oh,
I understand.
I'll put a plug in here. I worked with Jim and Kelly now for probably close to 2 years, and they've been incredible. They have a great design staff. They actually come out to Anchor Point and look at our equipment. They've helped us build our equipment. I mean, you can't go wrong. Hi, Jim.
Hi. Thanks, Dr. Petra. Thanks very much.
We agree, they're great.
I love that because all of you are all members. And so I love that we can connect you and bring more business and keep more business in Alaska. I did also want to mention Alaska Freight Forwarders. They're another one of our members, and they might be able to work with you on the freight forwarding from Seattle.
awesome. Thank you guys so much. That's like been my biggest struggle lately is all of the packaging issues.
Glad to help.
Do they do local or in-state? Because that's something we're working on right now, a supplement and trying to source different supplements throughout the state, but it's really hard. Like I have a lead in Kodiak, but not spending a fortune to get it from Kodiak to Palmer.
Is it Montes? Who was it, Megan, who was the transporter?
That is part of the directory?
I don't know if they are part of the directory or not.
No, Montes was weather.
No, I don't think they're part of the directory.
There is a gentleman, it's Mountain View Trucking, I want to say. Mountain View Trucking that does local
I'm gonna check our list.
logistics. I can get you that number also, Hannah. I can connect you with him.
We know who we're talking about, just not right this second. Because they're not directory members. So,
I think it's Mountain View Trucking.
That's top of mind, but I'm not sure if, wait, let me look at Alaska Freight Forwarding to give you the answer.
And then also just random, Hannah had texted me about boxes, and we put out some information on getting some bulk boxes from Uline and trying to combine an order. And I let her know that in the past I was ordering boxes from Granger, and Granger will ship to their location in Anchorage, and then we went and picked up from their facility, and that was the cheapest option that I found. And I think Hannah, you seconded that it was better than Uline.
Yes, it was very helpful.
Great.
Okay, to answer your question, it looks like they just specialize in and out of Anchorage.
Samson, what you got?
Yeah, just on that, I think that is something that I also am interested in is kind of the quote unquote courier services. So some of us do have, or so there are some finishing services in Alaska, but they're out in Palmer. And so, a service that goes out there and back, generally speaking, if it takes me an hour or two total drive time, it's 2.5 hours because I'm gonna stop for lunch or gas or whatever. And so, that's not a $300 charge that I can deal with. But if that's all of a sudden $100 or whatever, it's like, oh yeah, this makes total sense. Save my time, have somebody courier that. So yeah, that's something that I'm interested in is that kind of what would that be? Central Bowl or like South Central Alaska couriering?
Yeah, I'll connect you also with Mountain View Trucking because I think his thing is he's like, I want to help whatever I can in Alaska. I just need more customers. So it's kind of like all of us. It's like we just need more people to be sticking to the Alaska stuff.
In a pinch, I've used tow companies. Those have actually worked out really, really well. You call a tow company for any sort of piece of equipment, and you load it, and they rig it, and then you unload it. And that has been very affordable for moving any sort of equipment from kind of, chest freezer size to full trailer, 10,000 pounds or whatever.
Interesting.
In a similar vein, you might be able to just call an Uber to courier your stuff. I'm not joking. It's probably cheaper.
That's a good one too.
DoorDash it.
And to add on to that, so we've been partnering with Alaskans. They also make dog treats. We did a combination event together, and then I took product to Fairbanks of theirs with me. They took product. So it would be nice, I guess, someday if there was some sort of network like that. There used to be a program actually called U-Ship. That's actually when we came up to Alaska, somebody paid us to bring their dogs up, which paid for our gas to get here. But it might be something in the future for small businesses if you're driving from one place to another to bring other products with you.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody here use Slack or has used Slack in the past?
I have used it.
Okay. Yes.
And we have a couple. Yes, we have JKD too.
There's like CPG startups who has a whole Slack channel. Their whole community is on a Slack channel. And we envision if we're able to have everybody in the room together and it's like shipping together or whatever it is, or trips to Fairbanks from Anchorage. And we can just put that in a chat and it goes to all of us in one group rather than say me and Lacey, someone messages us and is like, hey, I'm looking for this and that. And then we have to go to the network and be like, hey, are you guys, this and that. If we can all already be in this centralized messaging spot, then we see a huge benefit in that. And then the communication is just going to happen without waiting for somebody else to make that next move. So we built a Slack channel. We're working on it so that we can get people in there and
I know there's
each other
a barrier to entry too. So we have to, build out this is how you do the things. So we're with phase one of that as well. Okay. Well, it is 5:40. Does anyone else have anything? And because it's such a small group, if you are not a manufacturer, I will open the floor to you at this time. But please, no sales pitches, just what you need. Thank you.
This is Erica with the SBA.
Oh, I can barely hear you.
Okay,
yeah.
I've got to do something with this mic. I'll just type it in the chat.
Oh, okay. I'll read it. I'll read it out loud for everyone.
I do know that that's Erica with the SBA.
Thank you.
And then just some random small things that have come up recently. We had Beaded Stream, who's one of our members. They build like data type equipment out here for the Arctic and things. And they were looking for a US made micro turbine company. They've been ordering them from the UK, but they're trying to find something that's made in America. And even though I'm no longer in the Alaska MEP, what I was doing was all supply chain stuff. And the MEPs, because it's a nationwide program, does have something where they will put out opportunities to other MEPs and then they'll go and try to find US manufacturers. So if anybody is looking for something to be made, then we do have that resource still available. I just connected them to the scouting team. They're going to put out all the information and then put it out to all of the other states that have the MEP organization still there. So if there's anything that you guys need made, or you know anybody that needs something made, still contact us. We have that resource available that can get it out to more of that nationwide system.
All right. Erica with the SBA says, I had a new business owner reach out opening a courier and a logistics company out of Matsu Valley. I will talk to him about this group if you like when I reach out this afternoon. Yes, please. We would love that. And then we can push it out to everyone.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't want to creepily sit here, but I will wait an awkwardly long time.
That's okay. I think I have another question that was on our guided list of
Oh,
things.
yay. Okay.
Yeah, just to break the ice a little bit more. Is there anything we can do that we can fill in those gaps that maybe other organizations weren't doing? Any way that we can help you guys? I think that this is very beneficial, us just getting in the same space and having a conversation. So if you guys can think of anything else where we can really make an impact for you, please let us know.
I'd like to say that we want to begin advocacy, but we're kind of, our goal is to get 1/4 ish, 1/4 ish of all the manufacturers or suppliers, and just basically a nice hefty number, almost 200 people. So we have some weight behind us and we can really start having numbers and be in that conversation. Yes, Samson.
Yeah, so I guess another one that is hard for me to find as a service in Alaska is heat treating. So commercial heat treating availability. So someone, wants a part and I machine it and then it needs to be made hard or some additional properties. So it's similar to finishing, but yeah, not a service that's readily available in Alaska commercially.
Okay. Alaska is just open for lots of types of businesses.
The problem is that everybody is good at what they do. And so you go and you're like, oh, this person might do heat. Oh, they do it in-house and they're really good at this niche. And seems that every time you walk into a potential sales opportunity, for lack of a better term, I am often confronted with damn it, they're really good at this already. So I think that people in Alaska are good at overcoming problems.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think when I think of that, I think of there's a lot of people probably using packaging sealing equipment and people are buying that, over and over and over again. When it's if you're not at full capacity, person A and person B could be renting that time or sharing the cost of that equipment. And hopefully,
one thing that would be really nice to manufacture in Alaska is packaging products ourselves. I mean, to ship little 2-ounce bottles that I use from China, it's all you need to do is, literally grind up sand and heat it, right? I mean, I just don't understand why, Alaskans don't, have this overarching, desire to make stuff that's useful. We're all kind of in our little niches. We make our, Alaskan base this or Alaskan base that, or we make all these wonderful products, but there's no support for what we need to make those products. I mean, I couldn't even find a bottle manufacturer in the United States. I mean, you can get exotic bottles, right? You can get weird bottles or high-end bottles, but to get, 50,000 2-ounce little amber bottles, you can't get those made in the United States.
Know anybody that wants to make them?
Well, not me. I've got a day job.
She's
Welcome to
already
the United States.
She's already trying to get people to grow things too.
Yeah. But I mean, just stuff like that because our shipping costs are so high.
Yeah.
I used to buy my bottles from specialty bottles in Seattle. Early on, I would go down to Seattle and fill up suitcases with them because it was cheaper for me to bring in suitcases on Alaska Airlines. But now I don't need hundreds of bottles. I need thousands of bottles. And so all the shipping.
Before getting to you, Linda, Jim and Kelly, I saw that you unmuted. Did you have something you wanted to add on that packaging front?
Well, over the years, we've sold quite a few glass bottles of certain sizes and types and so on. But Dr. Petra is right. It's tough to fill all of these niches, and I think we all get stuck with high shipping costs and so on. So I don't have an overall solution, but we are in the packaging business, and we do sell some bottles from time to time, but it's a challenge. Yeah, she's got a point there for sure.
Linda?
Yeah, I wonder, just kind of hearing what everybody's saying, and I think, you guys have the numbers now. If it would be interesting, because it will be interesting to me, and I'm not a manufacturer, but I talk to obviously companies that are, to host some sort of sessions where they dive a little bit more into any one specific thing to get more in depth on the problem. Like, Petra's problem, it's like so interesting, and I would love to learn and invite more people that may be able to, you know, serve as, manufacture this peripheral things that she's looking at, grow or whatever, just generate interest. But I feel like people need to, kind of get educated about it a little bit more. I wonder if the platform here could serve as that, and maybe it's, Petra gives a talk or you show the movie, and I'm just using you as an example, Petra, because it's kind of like very, very specific. But there's others in here. There's the finishing, there's the packaging, and all of those can be standalone things that I think people would really benefit learning more about in order to do something about it.
I love that, Linda. I think immediately when you say that, I'm like, yes, because invite everyone from Alaska Startup Week. We need to get people in the room that might be interested in growing
100%.
a product, So it needs to be a wider audience. I love this. This is why is Linda.
And who doesn't want to go to a movie premiere, right? I'll totally go to a Radiola movie premiere in Alaska. That's cool. I love it.
That is cool.
Well, I've shown it twice publicly, and it's been very rewarding. You can also see it through my website, but it costs $9.99 that way. But if there was a venue just kind of to, I actually went to, for those of you who aren't in Alaska directly, I actually went to Bear's Tooth and tried to get them to show it, but they said it was too commercial. It wasn't a nonprofit sort of thing. And they like to foster nonprofit, even though I tried to explain to them, well, we haven't made a profit, so it's definitely nonprofit. But just venues for educating people about the possibilities of something like this.
I love it. Well, let's definitely contact you. We can
Please do. Yep.
We specialize in making a splash.
There you go. Good.
There's a lot of smart people on this call, right? Like just putting them front and center to talk about that specific industry, I think is a big value add.
Yeah. I'm curious, Petra, too, have you talked to the Alaska Food Policy Council? Has that been someone that you've been
Yeah, I
working
gave
with?
a talk. Gosh, was it? I think it was last year. I
Okay.
trying to remember. Yeah, I think it was last year. I gave a talk on this, and with the idea that uh, one of my major overriding goals is if we can give farmers a crop that actually takes advantage of our environment rather than fighting it, and they can make good money doing this, they might grow more food on the side.
Mm.
And that's one of my overarching principles here is to to leverage this particular crop that actually really likes growing here. Yeah, there are challenges, there are hurdles, figuring it out, weeding, that sort of thing. But those are all things that farmers will learn how to do because they're very creative people and observant people. But here's a crop potential that can make quite a lot of money. When I started this in 2013, our first the going rate for cheap dried rhodiola root on the internet was $12.50 a pound, and it was bad quality. The first time we sold it to a botanical company, the farmer got $25 a pound dried root. Last year, I paid 65, and I know another botanical company outside paid 65, and that's because you can't get cheap Chinese crap anymore, not just because of tariffs, but because it's all wild harvest now, and that's prohibited. And so the price is going up, and the timing is perfect for the farmers here.
All right, well, we have just a few minutes left, I think.
Shall I share my screen again?
No, I guess if you want to, the last slide, if you want to, but it's not a huge deal.
I guess I have a quick
Go ahead.
comment. So Linda had mentioned kind of having like a little bit more deeper dives on certain topics. I think that is a really good idea, and I like that. And I believe that we, in the past at MEP, or in my involvement with MEP, there were similar kind of things. And I think that was helpful. But I also think that doing a sort of kind of like 15-minute panel or something like that, where it's 3 or 4 people who know about that subject. But basically, it might be helpful to have a little bit more focused conversation with like a panel and then a Q&A between the panel or between the audience of the panel, as opposed to just kind of an open discussion amongst everyone. But yeah, that for me, that is a really good kind of way of learning, or that, yeah, it's helpful for me.
Thank you for that feedback, Samson. I like that kind of event too. Okay, I'm going to launch a little survey if you would mind filling it out. You don't really have to, but it really helps us out. So please kind of do it. We really appreciate you showing up and speaking out and for helping us shape a stronger manufacturing future for Alaska. If you're not already an AKMA member, which I think almost all of you are, but if you're not, go ahead and head to akmfg.org to claim your spot and stay connected. We'll be sharing the next roundtable date plus opportunities for deeper matchmaking and advocacy, and we'll follow up with steps in an email. Until then, keep on building.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Really appreciate you guys.
Petra.
Yes.
Hannah says in the chat, in January, the I don't know if it's governor or government. Yep, government separated the Department of Agriculture from the Department of Natural Resources and added a new head of it. If you have not reached out to them recently, it might be useful to keep circling back. If you want to unmute Hannah, you can.
I thought that didn't go through.
I can confirm that did not go through. That's actually going to be discussed at special session, which starts Saturday, August 2nd.
It did not go through. It was
Okay,
attempted,
sorry about
so
that.
it didn't. Yeah.
Right.
And I've actually spoken with Commissioner Boyles. Last year, I talked with him about 45 minutes and gave him, an intense briefing. And everybody's like, oh, that's so interesting. We'll get back with you. And then, of course, nothing happens.
Yeah. Sorry, I know agriculture has had its own hiccups and problems,
Yep.
and was hoping that that was a way forward for Alaska.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately not with this administration.
Okay, sorry. Thank you for those who corrected my misinformation.
But thanks for trying.
Yes.
Thank you everyone for showing up and taking the time to speak with us today. As we continue to grow, I hope to get even more rural people here. It's a little harder to get them here, I think. I see Vanessa just popped in though. Hey, we're about to be done.
No, I just wanted to say hi, and I had another meeting that I double booked myself, but
oh, no worries.
Thank
No
you so
worries.
much for hosting this. And sometimes like you can't make it, but you still want the Zoom recording just in case. So I'm always like checking in, even if I'm late.
For sure. I love that. Well, thank you for hopping in. We love to see your face.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to everybody because this I think is really important. I was so discouraged when MEP closed their doors, even though I didn't really feel like they could address my issues because they're kind of in this bureaucratic sort of framework. And so I was just thrilled that Megan and Lacey and everybody else who's put this together has done so because it's going to make a huge difference. And I thank you for it.
Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it.
Bye-bye. See ya.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna end the poll. I'm gonna wait.
Oh gosh, there's still another.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
And then me and Lacey talked about it. We talked about putting this online so that it is something that can be viewed again. So Vanessa, you're able to go back and watch the recording and things that we talked about. But if there's anything that we can help you with, don't hesitate to send it our way. We want to try to connect you guys and figure out like how we can make it the most difference for our manufacturing community.
Well, why we got you here? We got like 2 minutes. Do you want to share like any what your biggest struggles are?
Yeah. Packaging. I want a certain look for what I want with I sell cosmetics, natural cosmetics, and the other piece would be like the ingredients. Most that I can find here, I get here, but like mica powders or food powders that I can't find, I have to order elsewhere from out of state. And then packaging right now for the look I'm wanting, it's from overseas, and it kills me that that's my only option, but it's very important for what I'm wanting to put out there. And my husband's an engineer, and so he just doesn't have the time to come up with like my idea yet, for what I'm wanting. But I think a lot of us are just kind of like we have big ideas, but like, do we have the time from all the other things that we do to like put into effect what we can?
Were you able to connect with JKD?
Yes, but they couldn't come up or help me with what I was hoping to.
Okay.
My idea, yeah.
Please.
Let's chat.
Yeah.
'Cause maybe I could connect you with some other MEPs that are in other states and we can still find something that's US made. I just need to know more details on what you're looking for.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love an email if you can shoot me one.
Will do.
Or even a call too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yes, there is always hope.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. This was a nice full hour. Really appreciate your time, energy, and everything that you've given to us. And we hope that we can return in all the ways possible.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you.